connecting us today. And I can see many people have joined the call. Laurent, do you want to add something?
No. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I request all the participants if they can turn on their video at the initial stage as well. And later on, when we jump to the presentation slide, then you can turn it off.
Hi, Lina.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So I think it's about time, and very good afternoon. Selamat siang in Indonesia to one and all. So myself, Sanchit Baveja, the organizer, along with my teammates, Ms. Kalyani and Ms. Lina, will take you through this webinar today afternoon in the Indonesia. And we also have Mr. Horaz and Mr. Laurent amongst us in this webinar. I welcome you, sir. And I welcome all the members for their valuable time and participation in this webinar today. The agenda of the meeting is top technology trends impacting education in 2022. The flow will be as follows. The introduction session will be opened by Mr. Horaz in the initial 10 minutes. If comfortable, he can be in English or in Indonesian Bahasa as preferred by the audience. Then Ms. Kalyani will give a brief introduction about the presentators and about the topic today. Then I will take you through the presentation. We have 4 major questions to be addressed today. And then in the end, we'll open up for Q&A round for the last 10 minutes. It's going to be approx a 1-hour session. In between, if you have any question, my colleagues, Ms. Lina will note down the questions, and you can also drop the questions in the chat box. Lina or Kalyan, if you can confirm that my audio and video both are fine so that we can proceed further.
Yeah, it's good as of now for us, Sanchit.
Thank you very much. And now I welcome and hand over to Mr. Horaz for the introductory note. And then I share my screen and proceed further with this webinar. And welcome to you all once again. Thank you.
Mr. Horaz, can you hear us? Laurent, can you please check?
I cannot see Mr. Horaz.
Okay. So meanwhile, he will join. I will just take you through a quick agenda. So today, as Sanchit mentioned, the topic will be top technology trends impacting education in 2022. We are going to cover basic 3 or 4 points, which are majorly includes like how any edtech institute can scale some of their major operations such as inquiries, admission, enrollment, and etc. The second point will be how can you solve all the queries, all the problems which you are receiving from the students or from the parents of different education institute. And the third and the major point will be what are the latest technologies that are into the education sector and how they have impacted overall development of the various education institutes. So these are the basic 3 points which we are going to discuss today. It would be great if you can add your inputs as well. As Sanchit mentioned, you can drop your question into the chat bot. Even the last 10 minutes which we have with us is for Q&A session where you can ask your questions, we can discuss on it, and later on we can take the conversation ahead. Apart from that, I also request Lena to share the participation detail form into the chat so that you all guys can share your details into that particular form, and then we will reach out to you for sharing more information and for sharing more details with you in the future as well. So, Horas, if you have joined the call, it's okay. Or Loran, if you can introduce, it would be great. And then we will take it ahead. Loran, can you please unmute?
Yes.
Yeah. So I would like you to start with the introduction note, and then we will come to the PPT slide.
Oke, thank you. Ya, saya pakai bahasa ya. Jadi selamat datang Bapak Ibu yang kami hormati di acara webinar kita ini. Mohon maaf Pak Horas Marbun sepertinya masih mau join dengan kita. Seharusnya beliau sebagai direktur kita menyampaikan keynote pada siang hari ini. Namun izinkan saya mewakili PT BIK mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Bapak Ibu sekalian, para dosen dan juga pengurus di lembaga institusi yang sudah berkenan hadir di acara webinar kita ini. Jadi acara ini sebagaimana tadi sudah disampaikan oleh Miss Kaliani akan berlangsung hingga nanti selesai, ada nanti ruang tanya jawab dan nanti Mr. Sachit Baweja yang akan menyampaikan presentasi kepada kita. Di room chat kami sudah sampaikan daftar hadir kita. Bagi Bapak Ibu silakan mengisinya di sana. Dan bagi Bapak Ibu juga yang nanti ingin mendapatkan sertifikat, kita ada di sana petunjuknya ya, ada biaya di sana disampaikan dan kita akan kasih nanti modulnya. Jadi selamat mengikuti acara webinar. Biarlah webinar ini akan bermanfaat bagi kita semua. Kalau ada pertanyaan-pertanyaan selanjutnya, boleh nanti dihubungi kami untuk menyampaikan petunjuk yang lebih lagi. Demikian yang kami sampaikan mewakili PT BIK. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Kaliani, I'm done.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Sanjit, can you please share your slides?
Yeah, so we'll just open, I'll just share my screen and then Ms. Kalyani can just give a brief introduction and then we can proceed with the today's agenda. Yeah, I hope my screen is visible, Kalyani.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can begin with the topic and the introduction session.
Yeah, so as you guys are aware, the topic is top 10 top technologies trend impacting education in 2022. We will be sharing this entire session recordings with you. We will be sharing this PPT with you as well. In future, if you need more information, if you want to see more details, we can, if you have shared your details into the participation form, we will reach out to you and we will share more important details with you as well. So this is what we have a topic for today. Can we move to the next slide?
Yeah.
So let's start with a quick overview by having some of the great lines which says, what new technology does is create new opportunity to do a job that customers wants to do. Earlier, there was an era when there were multiple complaints, multiple inquiries which are coming up from the multiple stakeholders. It is impossible for any institute to manage thousands of inquiries, thousands of complaints, giving focus on each and every student. But when we are talking about 2022, this is the digital era in which we are, and talking about the technologies. And when we talk about AI, nanotechnologies, use of analytics and all, these are important things are present into the edtech as well. So today we are going to cover majorly onto the technologies which can be a great beneficial into the education institute, where we can solely focus or where we can entirely focus on each and every student, on their growth, on their development, on their specific area, which helps them to grow in their future. Moving ahead to the next slide. These are the 4 major points or 4 major questions which we are going to cover today, which includes how can institutes scale effectively across some of the major operations like inquiries, admission, enrollment, program, multiple courses and all. What are the ways to manage and solve student problems and complaints? Third question will be, what are the top technology trends that can help education institute in 2022? And the fourth will be, how to use technology tool for the overall development of any education institute, that could be school, higher ed, college, any institute, university, or XYZ. Moving ahead, if you feel there is some problem or you cannot hear me, or you can't write something into the chat box, then you can try to turn up your volumes. You can try to use in the headphones as well. Apart from that, you can also put your question into the chat box. Lina will note it down, and at the end of the webinar, we will take all the questions. As mentioned, these are the 2 presentators for today, Mr. Sanchit Baveja and Mr. Horas. I can see Horas is there. So Horas, if you would like to take 1 minute to introduce, it would be great. You are on mute, Horas. Just a minute.
Okay, Mr. Horas, please click unmute. I already to ask unmute.
Okay, thank you Kalyani. Yeah, thank you, Bora. Okay, I'll try to present just for introducing for our session today. Yeah, but let me to speak in bahasa. Yeah, it's more familiar for us. Yeah, just easy to understand and also for me. Oke, selamat siang Bapak Ibu sekalian. Ya, pada saat ini saya coba ini ya presentasikan. Can you stop the previous slide? I'll share my screen. Kalian
Right. All right, I'll stop.
Ya. Oke, ya. Sudah kelihatan Bapak Ibu sekalian? Sorry.
Ya, sudah Bang.
Sudah ya?
Already.
Oke. Ya, sebentar ya saya ini kan. Baik, saya coba ini kan dengan topik hari ini. Ya, saya pikir cukup bagus ya. Tapi saya hanya sekedar untuk di awal ya. Topik kita ini lebih ke edtech ya, education technology ya. Seberapa penting ini sebenarnya untuk institusi kita ya. Ini diawali dengan apa sih itu edtech ya, ataupun education teknologi ya. Mungkin kita udah sangat familiar ya dengan LMS ya, dan juga media dan digital tools yang lain ya, ataupun itu berupa ICT dan juga infrastruktur sekolah yang di sana ada WiFi dan juga device yang lain kan gitu ya. Kemudian seberapa bernilai edtech ini? Nah, kita melihat bahwa sekarang ini kan ada istilah mobile technology, cloud service, virtual reality ya. Ini semua setelah membuat ya satu ini ya, kita bisa akses dalam pembelajaran ini lebih mudah, lebih komprehensif, lebih dalam yang disebut dengan immersive learning ya. Dan memang faktanya bahwa dengan ini ya kualitas ini ya pembelajaran ataupun edukasi yang tersedia sekarang ini, keterbatasan itu semakin kecil ya untuk kita ini ya belajar dalam kehidupan nyata kan gitu ya. Kemudian juga ya memang salah satu tantangannya kan apakah ya ini semua bisa ini ya akses kepada teknologi. Kalau di perkotaan mungkin kita nggak ada masalah, tapi bagaimana di desa-desa ataupun di luar kota. Oke, ini saya sedikit highlightin ini, tapi mungkin nanti Master Sanchit yang akan mendetailkan lagi ya. Jadi prinsipnya sekarang ini kan terjadi digital transformation ataupun transformasi digital ya. Dengan transformasi digital ini telah mengubah banyak hal ya dan berbagai sektor. Khususnya dalam 2 tahun terakhir ini sehubungan dengan adanya coronavirus ya. Sebenarnya teknologi itu sudah available ya, sudah ada. Tetapi dengan ini virus corona ini membuat teknologi ini semakin cepat diadopsi atau diterapkan. Dan sekarang ini kita bisa bayangkan selama 2020 sampai dengan 2000 ya kemarin ya 2021 itu jika tidak ada teknologi ini maka 2 tahun itu sekolah akan apa? Akan tidak bisa ngapa-ngapain gitu ya, dan karena takut untuk bisa bertatap muka. Nah kemudian juga ada remote learning ini ya, sama ya seperti tadi itu ya, kita bisa sekarang belajar dari mana saja, di mana saja, dan untuk akses kemana saja. Nah e-learning ini juga sangat ini ya, sangat bagus ya untuk ini kita ya, mempermudah kita dalam proses pembelajaran tersebut. Nah tentu ini memang baik dalam pendidikan formal ataupun tidak formal atau berupa training, maka e-learning ini sudah sangat masif digunakan. Oke, kemudian sebentar, next.
Thank you so much, Mr. Horas.
Okay.
Now, Sanchit, if we can quickly start the slides, it will be great because we are running little out of time.
Oke, thank you. Nah ini kita lihat ini ya, bagaimana si anak ini yang mereka dia belajar dengan gurunya di titik ujung sana ya, dan ini sudah sangat sering kita lihat dan kalau kita pantau anak-anak kita. Kemudian satu hal yang perlu juga bahwa model pembelajaran sekarang ini, apakah itu berupa pelatihan ataupun pembelajaran formal dan lain sebagainya, itu sudah mengarah kepada pembelajaran yang sifatnya rekreasional ya, ataupun mungkin juga belajar sesuai dengan minat yang disebut dengan learning driven by interest ya. Jadi tidak heran ada tiba-tiba seseorang bisa ahli dalam tertentu, padahal kita nggak lihat bahwa dia itu pernah kuliah di kampus mana gitu ya. Nah itu mereka akan bisa dengan mudahnya pelajaran gitu ya. Contoh nih anak saya sering ini kalau di rumah belajar sendiri untuk piano gitu ya, pikir cukup kreatif ya gitu ya. Jadi dia sesuai dengan hobinya, sesuai dengan ketertarikannya, maka dia dengan ini ya pelajari apa saja yang dia inginkan kan gitu ya. Nah, perkembangan teknologi yang begitu cepat ini tentu memang punya konsekuensi bahwa ilmu yang kita ini ya dapat itu akan dengan mudah obsolete ya ataupun outdated. Tapi di sisi lain juga kita dengan mudah untuk mempelajari sesuatu ya, karena semua sudah available, semua sudah ini ya mudah dicari ya. Nah, kemudian juga tren yang terjadi itu adalah sekarang ini lebih subscription ataupun berlangganan ya. Apa-apa sekarang ini kalau dulu kan beli software atau disebut dengan on premise gitu ya, kita harus beli, tapi sekarang dengan berlangganan. Bahkan ada istilah mini, jadi maksudnya sampai dengan level tertentu seperti penyimpanan data ataupun mungkin aplikasi tertentu yang kita pakai masih gratis. Lebih daripada itu ya baru nanti berbayar. Nah, itu harus seperti itu. Kemudian juga ini kita sangat familiar ya dengan course Coursera dan Udemy ya. Ini beberapa kali saya ini ikutin ini, cukup banyak yang gratis kecuali kita mau ambil sertifikatnya ya. Jadi isinya itu saya lihat sudah sangat sempit ya, sudah sangat kecil sampai disebut dengan istilah bite size chunks gitu ya. Jadi kita memang bisa belajar dengan potongan yang sangat kecil sehingga kita akan nanti sangat dalam dengan bidang tersebut. Nah, model pendidikan seperti inilah yang memang lebih cocok ya di dalam ini ya, baik sebagai pebisnis, sebagai pengusaha, bahkan mungkin pelajar di abad 21 ini dan juga ke depannya. Oke, dan ini ada istilah immersive learning technology. Ini diawali sebenarnya dengan area augmented reality dan juga virtual reality, kemudian digabung ini menjadi dengan mixed reality menjadi extended reality ini. Nah, sekarang sudah mengarah kepada metaverse ya. Nah, ini semua membuat kita seolah-olah bahwa dunia real itu kita bisa lihat secara virtual, padahal sebenarnya itu bukan secara yang real, tapi seolah-olah dibuat real untuk meminimalisir risiko sehingga kita tidak perlu takut untuk ini ya terjadi kerusakan peralatan yang mungkin ya cukup mahal karena ini kita masih ada bentuk VR. Dan bahkan ini sangat ini ya sekarang ini mulai tren digunakan menjadi ini ya untuk pelatihan ya untuk latihan misalnya untuk apa ya kita sebut seperti surgeons itu ya untuk bedah dan juga yang ini ya pemadaman kebakaran dan lain dan banyak hal yang bisa digunakan dengan ini ya. Ya seperti ini kan itu ya. Dulu saya punya ini hanya nonton video melihat ini seperti 3D gitu ya. Tapi memang terlihat sangat berbeda ya dari yang konvensional.
Thank you so much for this, Mr. Horas. So Sanchit, we can start, and you can move to the next slide, and you can take the conversation ahead. Sanchit, can you please start?
Yeah. Am I audible?
Hello?
Yeah, am I audible and the screen is visible, right?
Yes.
All right, so we begin quickly with our agenda of the day. And I'm moving quickly. Next slide.
Can you hear?
Yeah, please.
Oke. Jadi ini hanya sekitar 3 slide lagi dan saya mau inikan poin-poin pentingnya itu adalah tentang automation dan AI ya. Dunia AI ini memang yang sekarang ini sangat ini ya berkembang walaupun masih dalam fase untuk pengembangan. Nah, ini sekarang sudah mulai banyak ya bukan seperti ini ada attitude learning, adaptive learning dan bahkan yang kalau di Amazon itu ada Alexa ya. Sebenarnya ini sudah ada beberapa tahun yang lalu tetapi semakin canggih dengan adanya AI ini. Dan yang terakhir ini adalah tentang nano learning ini ya. Nah, kenapa ini disebut nano learning ya? Karena memang semakin ini ya, semakin kecil nano itu kan ya ini ya sehingga disebut ultra bite size lesson ini ya dalam ini. Nah, ini membuat semua pembelajaran itu akan semakin apa? Semakin dalam, semakin ini ya detail atau tapi tidak terlalu meluas. Nah, kita lihat sekarang ini kan berkembang bagaimana WhatsApp, Slack dan Teams gitu ya kalau kita ini kan dan juga digunakan juga di Twitter dan juga di TikTok ya. Oke. Nah, sebagai kesimpulannya ya bahwa teknologi pendidikan ini sangat penting diadop di dalam ini ya lembaga pendidikan kita. Tergantung memang seberapa cocok ya dan juga kemampuan kita secara budget dan juga kita juga memang perlu sangat ini ya hati-hati dalam pemilihan teknologi ini ya. Nah untuk itu ya kita perlu ini mempertimbangkan teknologi-teknologi yang memang lagi ini ya lagi tren akhir-akhir ini dan yang berdampak besar kepada ini kita ya lembaga kita. Mungkin itu saja yang dari saya sedikit sebagai pengantar. Nanti Mr. Sanchit akan menjelaskan lebih detail dan fokus kepada solusi apa yang kita bawa. Terima kasih.
All right, so we begin with today's presentation and webinar. I thank you, Mr. Horas and Mr. Loran, for the introductory round. And as we are time-bound of 1 hour session, and the time is important for all the respected members in this call, so I'll directly jump on to, before we begin, I think the presentator details are well presented about myself, Sanchit Baweja. I'm the country head manager for Indonesia and the Philippines, and Mr. Horas' introduction and details has been given. We also have Mr. Loran from Mr. Horas' end. And before we begin, sir, I would just like to introduce ourselves that I belong to Academia by Serosoft. This is a company based out of India. And just 1 second. I'm unable to move my screen. So now it's fine. So I'll just give you a brief introduction that where we belong to. So Serosoft is a 14-year-old organization now, and we have present in 22 plus countries as of now. Just for your reference and information, I would like to highlight the name of Singapore Intercultural or Singapore International Schools, SIS group of schools based out of Jakarta. And the name may be very familiar with you all in the Indonesian country specifically, which is one of our premium clients in the Indonesia, having 6 campuses. As of now, our company is quickly and rapidly growing with a staff strength of around 200 plus members. and with a total experience of 800 plus years of experience in the company. And as of now, we are present in the 3 continents with 700,000 plus learners and academicians being benefited from this. Before we proceed, I'll just request all of you to increase your headphones volume for a brief introduction company video of our Cerosoft. Thank you.
How do we achieve automation in educational institutions? Are there any specialized ERP solutions for education? Here's the one for your institution: Academia ERP SIS. Manage your complete student life cycle from pre-admission to graduation. We offer ERP or education management solutions to the entire spectrum of educational institutions, from higher education to K-12. In fact, we are recommended by Gartner. Academia has role-based access for students, parents, administrators, and teachers. The highly configurable Academia is developed on 3-tier MVC architecture, facilitating data security and plug-and-play modules. Academia has a large gamut of deep and wide modules for complete institutional management. The multi-center capability feature can manage data on various campuses of an institution from a single system. Academia has diverse analytics and deep reporting capabilities that help institutions in discovering, interpreting, and communicating, backed by more than 400 standard reports through the system. A comprehensive mobile app aids robust, feature-rich, and user-friendly academic and administrative operations. Academia can integrate seamlessly with applications like LMS, COA, and a lot more. We focus on providing complete GDPR compliance and robust information architecture on Microsoft Azure and related capabilities. Academia is an award-winning education ERP, and more than 300 institutions across 20 countries, 700,000 plus learners and educators rely on it for effective and efficient processes. Its tremendous benefits include reduced costs and effort, greater accountability, and faster decision-making. This is indeed a powerful cloud solution with cutting-edge technology for educational institutions. Backed by state-of-the-art implementation and post-implementation support, compatible with all devices. Drive up your efficiency and enhance cost savings by digitally transforming your institution with Academia ERP SIS. Transform your institution today with Academia by Cerosoft. Want to know more? Contact us.
Yeah, thank you very much. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Now we talk about something related to Indonesian country specifically. So this is the chart which I've prepared, and I'm sure that you all will be very well versed and more knowledgeable than me in this. So as we study that the Indonesian education is basically divided into 4 stages, which is the primary, the middle, the secondary, and the tertiary. As you can see, there are government funded schools. And what we talk about our product, Academia, is specifically for the education sector. It is covering all the schools, colleges, and the needs of all kinds of university, maybe private or public funded. So the 4 stages, as you mentioned on the screen, are primary, middle, secondary, and tertiary. Indonesian level of education is kind of similar to Indian, as we have from grade 1 to 12. So in some cases in Indonesia, it's still grade 13. And in the tertiary education, there are 4 types of institutions, namely the polytechnics, the academies, the institutes, and the universities. So a total education cycle for a student life cycle is 12 or 13 plus 3 or 4 years of formal education in Indonesia. Now, this is just a great slide about the Indonesian culture. So Indonesian is quite similar to India in the Asian continent. It's quite a vast country having huge population and a great culture and history behind it. Talking about literacy in Indonesia, it is one of highest globally. A total of around 92% country is literate, with the male population being 95.5% and the female population being 90.4% approx. So that's a great thing to know. Now coming on to the main agenda of our webinar today. So the 4 questions which we highlighted in the beginning, which we are going to address in this webinar today. We begin with question number 1, which is how can institutions scale effectiveness across major operations such as inquiries, admissions, enrollment, programs, and courses. So the answer is right in front of you. with the help of these three key highlighted points, which I'll talk about in the next slide in detail. Number one is digitalization. Second is EdTech, which is education technology. And number three is automation. So now what do you mean by digitalization? So nowadays, gone are the time when there are textbooks and when there are notebooks and students are writing. We have the advancement of technologies globally, right from the United States to the Indonesia to the Indonesian. Everyone is following the suit. So digitalization is simply the process of converting the text into images or into a digital format that can be stored and used by students and teachers at any point of time remotely. And now, as the world is coming out of the pandemic, the use of technology and digitalization has increased all the more. Also, digital technologies change a business model completely. I'm sure that all the schools and colleges and the heads present here must be using some kind of LMS, that is a Blackboard, Moodle, or any other. So now it's the time for the remote technology and remotely educating the students anywhere in the world. Second point I talk about is EdTech, which is education technology. So Cerosoft, what I represent, is in the IT sector, is one of the top EdTech companies from India, renowned globally, with our umbrella product known as Academia by Cerosoft. And number three is automation. Automation simply means that minimizing the use of human input into any process. So maybe it's manufacturing, maybe it's services, maybe technology or education sector. Every industry is looking for automation to be precise, to be technologically equipped, and for the reducing of the human interference in all their processes. Moving on quickly to question number 2 of the day, that what are the ways to manage and solve student problems? So I have made this slide very simple because we can interact more. And if anyone is having any questions in between also, please feel free to raise your hand on the Zoom chat or just drop your question in the chat box. So my fellow colleague, Ms. Lina, will note down and we can address the same immediately. So number 2, we'll talk about the problems and the new ways to manage the problems that the students are facing in the schools and colleges nowadays. So we have most of the population from the schools and some of the members also present from the college and the universities. So generally, the life cycle of a student is around 15 to 16 years, and 10 to 12 years is the highest and the longest in case of a school education. From this slide, what we mean that each student and parent will face different kind of problems in their education life, in their education life cycle. The problem can be various, related to academic related, attendance related, health related. And when the institution is of large size, maybe of 5,000 students, 10,000 students, it is very difficult for education institutions or management to resolve and listen to the problems of each and every individual. But this is one of the pain areas, and this is one of the areas which I want to highlight, because the problems of each student and parent would be of different nature, would be of different category. But we need to understand and address that problem immediately with a justifiable and satisfiable solution to the parents, to build a brand image so that the message of our education institution goes right out in the market and in the nation. We talk about 3 different ways to handle the problems. One is the old school, which is the open forums, which means one-on-one meeting, which is still very significant and holds a great importance, specifically in the case of schools. What our study suggests is that an open forum or an open house one-to-one session of students with faculty is advisable to organize by the education institution at least 1 per quarter. Second, we'll show you detailed mobile application also, which is available in our feature by Academia by Cerosoft. Nowadays, most of the education institutions are moving on to the mobile application. So there should be a remark or a complaint or a grievance section in the mobile application in which the student or the parent can directly raise the issue, and the issue can be directly marked to the faculty, to the principal, or to the admin, or to the HR department. There should be different categories in the mobile application so that the problem reaches to the concerned person and a timely response can be given. For example, students are facing the problems of transport issue. So there should be an option to raise the issue directly to the transport manager rather than routing it through the faculty or through the HR or the admin department. If there is any problem which the student or the parent is facing through the fees payment, then a finance officer should get directly message from the parent that what all problems they are facing, and a direct solution can be provided by the concerned person to the parent. Thirdly, I have highlighted about a grievance center or a helpline number, which is very important. Nowadays, a 24/7 chatbot or a dedicated helpline local landline number can be given at least in the working hours of the school, so that a student or a parent can directly call up the helpline number. And a lot of times what happens in big organizations or in education institution, the problem is not able to reach to the concerned person or to the principal directly. And a lot of times it is difficult for a parent or a student to directly meet or take appointment directly of the principal, vice principal, or of the director of the college. So what this grievance handling officer can do, it can help to bridge the gap between the management and the students and the parents for a timely concern of the solutions and the problems. Now, sir, this is one of the most important slides, which I've kept very simple, which I would like to talk about, is about technology trends, which is our topic of the day. That what are the top technology trends that can help education institution in 2022? Number one is about nano learning. Now, what's nano learning? Nano learnings are short tutorial programs which a student has to finish in 10 minutes, which means if there is a lecture on arithmetic in the subject mathematics, then short videos of 10 minutes can be divided into 3 or 4 short sessions, which can help students aging 5 to 15 years to grasp and quickly learn. And just to note down here that nano learning is without or with minimal use of human intervention in that. So that is what nano learning is. Nano means dividing it into small parts so that each day a student can learn new thing, and overall as a chapter, it can be included as a part of the course. Second, we talk about AR and VR. Now, what's AR and VR? It's about augmented reality and virtual reality. So virtual reality, augmented reality, I would like to say, is taking over VR slowly and steadily, but VR is still in the trend. So AR is an enhanced version of the real physical world that is achieved through the use of physical or visual elements. So I'll give you a simple example that what is augmented reality or AR. So in the Google is also coming up with the AR feature, which means that now we use Google Maps. But once you have a mobile tablet, a mobile phone or a tablet in your hand, if you just point the screen of the camera towards the street you are walking, so the AR technology will help you to easily name out the coffee shops or the gymnasium or any other restaurants or the shop. So it will actually give you a real physical world feeling. You just need to point your camera towards the street, and everything which is available in that street, it will actually give you the address, the name of the institution, the name of the gymnasium, or the name of the coffee shop available on the road you are passing by or driving by through. Number two is VR, which is a smaller version of AR, I can say. So VR still requires any resource or tool. So it requires a hardware tool. The most common tool for a VR is a VR goggles. So you can wear those goggles around your eyes, and it helps you to get into a reality. And it's a virtual thing which is around your eyes, but you feel that you are a kind of example I can give, as all of us must have gone through a stimulation maybe, right? So it's a kind of a stimuli or a hardware tool you wear across your eyes to give you the actual reality around your surrounding environment. Next, I'll talk about these two important points, which is analytics and reporting and cloud-enabled technology. Now, what is analytics and reporting, which my fellow colleague will highlight in detail, which is available into our academia by Sirosoft. So nowadays, what is happening? A lot of studies and science say that analytics and reporting has become an important part of education. So in earlier times, it was very difficult for the principals, for the education institutions to report and track the past 10 years record of the students. Because once the student is promoted from grade 5 to grade 8, it is difficult that what used to happen in the earlier times, that if a student is passed and promoted to grade 5, the importance of that result is no longer there. But now doctors and medical science studies says that it is important to keep a track record of the last 5 to 7 years to help us, a student guide, what areas of interest he has to take the subjects. Maybe he has to go for a commerce, maybe he has to go for the arts or the humanities or any other education line. And it also helps the parents to make the right decision and at the right time for the student. Last but not the least on this slide is about cloud-enabled technology. As we showed in our company video, we are proud to announce that Sirosoft as a product, Academia by Sirosoft as a product, We are tied up with one of the most renowned, Microsoft Azure, as our cloud technology partner. Nowadays, most of the institutions are moving on the cloud-enabled technology instead of hosting the data on-premise. Next, very important point which we need to address and focus today is about artificial intelligence. So what is AI? AI is the new term in the market, and it is very well included in the education sector. So AI is a tool or a software system, I can say, which helps you to give a feedback about a particular student. So for example, a lot of online examinations when we appear, I'll talk specifically now about the higher education, maybe entrance examination of a lot of colleges and university I've seen in India. So the answers you give in a particular question, so the next level of the question is difficult or higher than that. So that is what a real-time artificial intelligence works upon. So there are questions loaded in the system, but if you are able to manage the easy questions easily, then the next question would be difficult in that. So there has to be a formula or algorithm has to be fed in the system, and AI is the term which is used across all industries, specifically in the manufacturing, but is very well inputted in the education sector also nowadays. These are some of the things, the application of the artificial intelligence, as I've highlighted in the bottom, that AI is the future in education. What all AI can help do specifically in the education sector. It can help proctoring, which means that proctoring easily means that invigilating the students with the help of the cameras, with the help of artificial intelligence. AI can help as a virtual facilitator. It can help as a data accumulator tool. It can help as a chatbot. So a lot of human interference has been reduced, and AI is the new word in the education technology. Next, moving on quickly, question number 4 to be addressed for the webinar today is how to use technology tools for the overall development of the education institution. Point number 1, for better control and transparency to the management. So when the institutions scale up or the size grows in terms of number of students, in terms of number of campuses, but the management or the trustee or the board of governors remains once. So it is very important for technology, for a principal or for a director to have all the reports, maybe of attendance, maybe academic, maybe health report of the students, maybe attendance reports of the employees, increment letters of the employees, to have at one go at just a click of the mobile button. Number 2, about the Go Green initiative. As we all know that world is moving towards technology, it is moving towards Go Green. And as a part of Go Green initiative, you can also brand your institute, and it can count as a good corporate social responsibility or a CSR activity for your institution. Third is the most important feature, which is about the fees management, which means that cashless and paperless, which means that technology can help you reduce the paperwork. You need not to go to banks or reach out to your accountant or the bank accountants again and again. The fees can be paid easily. The payments can be done easily with the help of mobile app, with the use of technology. And third, as I mentioned about, we are out of the corona pandemic, that the remote learning. So we have students in institutes from all over the world nowadays studying. So as we are speaking from different parts of the world. So this is the simplest example that we all are connected. It feels like we all are sitting in one conference room and easily having a virtual meeting with each other. So this is one of the simple features what our academia offer. It says go green, go paperless with the best in class academia's campus management system. So with this, I request and invite my fellow colleague, Ms. Kalyani, to highlight and speak about some key features and highlight about our product academia. And before that, if anyone has any inputs or questions, I hope, Lina, you are making a note of the same. And I invite for your views, maybe after once Ms. Kalyani has completed the next few slides about academia by Cedosoft. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this, Sanchit. So basically, what we have understand till now is what are the top technology trends, what are the all things which can be included into the education sector. Now, what we have with this. So we come from the organization which is named as academia. So we are a complete ERP based company which is entirely into the education sector from past 14 years. So we and Mr. Horas, which is from the Bino Globe, we work together. We work with multiple and various education institute, and ultimately what is the agenda over here is we help them to transform all the department, processes and functions of any education institute with the help of automation and with the help of streamlining. So when we implement this ERP into the EdTech, it will ultimately bring the transparency, productivity, and control in the overall education institute. When we move ahead to the next slide, it is like we call it as a complete campus management system. Sanjit, can you move to? Yeah. So we call it as a complete campus management system. We call it as a one of the world's fastest growing student information system or school management system. What exactly we have in it? Everything from admission till graduation, along with all the administrative activities which may be required by any education institute, everything is present into this ERP package. So you can see here, these are the various modules which we have with us. So we call it as a bird eye view of academia. So if I start with the right corner, which is organizational setup part, here all the initial settings of any organization, like setting up the organization, creating departments, creating up the calendars, preparing event calendars, all the basic things which is physically present can be also created into the system as well. So we can create this in organizational setup part. Campaign and inquiry management is the module where you, being a head of any education institute, can keep a track of all the inquiries which are coming up, maybe through Facebook, or parents is coming onto a campus location and then he's giving you a manual entry, or if there is any campaigns which has been run by the team onto the LinkedIn campaigns, or you have participation in any event in order to increase the admission rate, all this setting, how much of budget is allocated, how many inquiries are there, what is the closing rate, everything. Basically, a lead generation module for the education institute is covered under this module. Then we have admission management, where all the pre-admission and admission activities of the student has been taken care. The next module we have is a student information module. Maybe student have various n number of fields related to them. You can find all information from his hair color till in which program he is, his positive incident, his negative incident, everything, all information can be found in student information module. Then we have program and courses. Here you can create multiple programs like MBA, LLB. You can talk about engineering. You can create multiple classes like class A, class 2, class 3, class 4. You can create multiple courses into it, can map faculties to it, can generate their timetable. So this is one of a very detailed academic module which we have with us. Then fee management, which takes care of the financial aid of the student. Even if you have international student into your school or into your university, that can be managed through the fee management. Scholarship and sponsorship is linked with the fee management itself. So if you are giving any scholarship or government is giving any scholarship to the student, all these things can be managed in this particular module. Homework and assignment, where teacher can give homework to the student. They can give homework to one individual student, or they can club 2 or 3 students and then assign them any kind of assignment. They can ask them to resubmit, can change the submission dates. All this stuff related to the homeworks can be managed in this particular module. Then we have a next module as examination and mark sheet. This is again a very deep module, which is divided into 3 parts or 3 segments, you can say, which is pre-examination, examination, and post-examination. So here as well, right from creating the hall ticket till the mark sheet generation, who is going to be the invigilator during the exam, how many number of students are going to sit in one exam. This is all for the physical examination. Even if you want to take online examination, that is also possible with the help of Microsoft Teams. Then we have a next module as completion management, where all the document, once the student has been graduated from the school, or once the student has completed his course into the university or college, he will find all his document into this particular module. We have file management, where all the files of the system can be found onto a single location. We have a separate portal for the faculties and for the students as well. So when I log in as a student, I will be only able to see information related to me, my fees, reading material which my teacher has given to me, or the complaint which teacher has raised on my behalf. I can see it. So this is totally the way which can be seen as per the stakeholder. If you are looking at from the faculty point of view, it will be shown in that way. Likewise, it go for the student as well. Then we have employee management, where all the details related to the employees, means faculties and teachers of the education institute, can be seen. We have a very strong analytical and reporting module. So here we can find around 440 plus reports with us. These reports can be seen in the form of analytics. So being from a top management, or being from the one who is the decision maker of any university, I can just quickly see what the report says, what the numbers and facts look like, and then I can take decision according to that. So this helps majority of the institute to take quick decision and to understand what should be the processes they need to follow. Then we also have transport management with this, where if there are buses which are related to the schools or linked to the for the transportation of the student, vehicle management can be done from transport module. If you have hostels with you, like the students who are living into the hostels nearby the school or university, all the hostel details can be found in housing management. And the next is message and notification, where there could be multiple ways in which we can communicate with the various stakeholders of the academia. So we can send them email, we can send them message, we can send notification on their separate portal, we can send notification on their mobile app, and we can also send them WhatsApp messages. So these are the various way in which we can communicate with all the other stakeholders, like parents, guardians, teachers, faculties, or someone who is the trustee of the organization, and you want to call them into any event. So we can communicate with all of them with the help of this single ecosystem. So we call it as a one-stop solution for all your need. Instead of using various multiple third-party products, this is the platform which has given everything onto a single platform in order to have all your information in a very simple and a very systematic format. Moving to the next slide, which is the academia key highlights of the mobile app. Of course, mobile app is something which is must into the today era. So we have it. I can just go into my mobile app. I can open my app. I can see, okay, this is my timetable for today. You can see here my courses, attendance, assignments, events, timetable, curriculum, academia drive, where I can find all the information. So this is a mobile app which can be useful just to get a quick information. And if like I am out and I want to upload my assignment, I can do it through my mobile app as well. Likewise, it goes for the faculties as well. They can quickly take attendance with the help of this app. So moving to the next slide, which says, hello to the futuristic technology of academia. As we mentioned into the starting part, we are the world's fastest growing student information system as of now, being into the edtech from last 14 years, having presence in more than 20 plus countries as of now, over 4 different continents. Currently, if we talk about, academia has been serving 300 plus institutes, and these institutes include big schools, colleges, universities, training centers. So we have a good experience of working onto the international level, and of course we do have a presence into the Indonesia. So we are good aware about it, how the education policies are, how the government policies are, what are the standard rules, what kind of reports are required into it. So we have a good experience into this particular specific domain. Yeah. Sanchit, would you like to continue?
Yeah, I hope I'm audible. Yeah. So I think we are running just on time. It's almost as we scheduled for 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Jakarta time. So we are almost at the fag end of the presentation. I thank Ms. Kalyani for highlighting the key features about academia by Serosoft. And before we conclude our presentation, I'll just like to highlight some of our happy customers across the globe. Number one, I would like to name SIS Group of Schools, which is based out of Jakarta, Indonesia. We have our premium client, Triple IT, which is a premium engineering and science college in Bangalore City in India. Then we do have our clients in the African continent. We have Seacoast College of London. So these are just a list of key highlighted premium clients of ours. Overall, we are happy to serve 300 plus customers across 22 countries and 3 different continents. So I'd like to thank each one of you for your valuable time and participation. These are our contact details. My personal mobile number and WhatsApp number with +9 India code is given at the bottom. You can visit our website www.academiaerp.com. Please feel free to drop me a WhatsApp or email, and we'll be happy to have a detailed discussion with you with regard to academia and the changing trends in technology. Thank you once again. And now I open up for the last 5 to 10 minutes for a Q&A session and a closing note by Mr. Horas. And before I do that, it's my most humble request that Ms. Lena has dropped a link in the chat bar of a Google form. So I would request, it will just take hardly a minute before we end this call. If you can just click on that link in the chat box. I request Ms. Lena to resend that link and just fill up of your name and email ID just as a participant for this webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that. So I can see there is one question which is coming up. How safe are Serosoft application used on campuses? So this is the question, and I would like to answer it. How it goes, even if we talk about the safety, so academia is a company which is GDPR compliant and ISO certified as well. So when we host this application onto a cloud, we take 100% guarantee and 100% security of all the data which you are giving to us. So we serve it over Microsoft Azure. All the data, all the information which you are providing to us, we will make sure it is completely safe and protected with us, and it will be as per the Indonesian government laws and policies. Is there any other question which is from any other participant? Mr. Loran, you can ask if anybody has any question.
Please, Mbak Fadila, to guide our discussion this day in Bahasa. Can you give to Miss Fadila be a co-host?
Oke, thank you Pak Loran. Oke, terima kasih Bapak Ibu semuanya atas perhatiannya di webinar kali ini. Kalau misalnya ada yang mau ditanyakan, boleh langsung chat. Ya Pak, by chat aja ya Pak ya. Boleh langsung drop pertanyaannya di kolom chat ya.
Atau resen juga boleh lah Bapak Ibu ya. Resen kalau mau langsung direct to Mr. Sajid if any question.
Yeah, there is one more which I can see, which is from Tariq sir. Tariq Darulum School. How to set up the system? How long will it take? Sanchit, would you like to answer this? I will repeat the question. To set up a complete system, how long will it take? What is the timeline for implementing the system?
Yeah, so we have this question from Mr. Tariq Darulum School. So everyone. So it's thank you for valuable input. So we have a big implementation team, and as a part of our set process, now after the pandemic, our team can physically visit the campus, maybe in the Indonesia, Philippines, or any other part of the world. And we have a system of 13-week process, right from the time to implement till the time we train and handhold. And also most of the things can be done online as well. But in case the client requires a physical support, then our team and representative will be physically present to implement the system into your premise in your campus with training to each stakeholder, that is to all the students, parents, and the faculty and the administration about the usage of this product. So if we have a 13-week set process, which we can stretch up to 1 or 2 more weeks if required by the client. I hope this answers the question. And I could also see that there was one more hand raised by Mr. Rickson in between the presentation. So I welcome you to ask the question, sir. Mr. Rickson, I just saw one waving hand in the presentation. So, sir, please feel free to ask anything. Or you can drop in the chat box the question. Mr. Rickson. I hope due to network issues, Mr. Rickson is maybe not available. Any more questions? And then, Kalyani, we can hand over to Mr. Horas for the closing note, right?
Yes, we can. So, Horas, if any last point which is coming up from your side?
Okay, I see Mr. Karim Bakri raise hand. Please, if you have any question. Tolong di-unmute dulu Pak Karim.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks for academia. Yeah, about your presentation. For me, important developer give us the trial account because before we use more ARP from the other developer, but the problem when I implement, difficult to custom because all the ARP open source. This is number one. And number two, the problem, not easy interface. It's the module, it's the feature, because the platform Indonesian system education may be different with the India and or other. I think if you share the account trial and we try 3 months and more, if they're okay, I think more the education institution will be used, because this is edutech, this is important now. Okay, thank you. Suggestion from me.
Okay, so I hope I got your question right. First, you asked about the customization according to your needs, right? What you mentioned. And the second part, you talked about the usage of trial and its applicability globally, right? So first, I would like to highlight that academia is a product which is highly configurable, which means that we do take client needs on trial basis, and our product is configurable according to your needs. However, to mention here that once we show you the actual product in detail, I'm sure that you will be happy to see, and you and 90% of your needs, I'm sure, will be fulfilled. So as Kalyani mentioned, that right from the time of admission or pre-admission, I would say, till the time student is passed out and become an alumni of your school or college, everything is being covered. So no part is left. However, to say that we still have some leverage to customize according to your needs if specific to your institution. Second, that we can provide you a trial version of the same. And you asked about its applicability and flexibility in Indonesia. So already, as I mentioned, that SIS group of schools is our premium customers in Indonesia. And this product is made out of India from an Indian company, but is being accredited and renowned and accepted globally by 22 different countries, which means that the education system of 22 different countries has been kept in mind before designing this, while designing this product, and it is being applicable and being used globally across different countries. I hope that answers to your question, Mr. Karim.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Lena, I think we can continue with the Lena after that.
Yes, definitely we'll connect. And before we end, it's just last 2 or 3 minutes, because you are precisely at 2 p.m. Jakarta time now, and keeping a time-bound event, I would just request if all of us can fill the Google form so that we can share each other's information and we can contact you for further detail. And now for the last closing note, I invite Mr. Horas.
Yeah. I think Pak Yahya, you can share the form. For Lena, I follow I participate three person and participant in the Zoom meeting today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for this, and thank you all the participants to join the call. If you wish to take this presentation, if you wish to have the recording of this session, kindly share your details into the Google form so that we can reach out to you and we can share this presentation and this recording with you. Even after this webinar, if any questions come up from your end, we will be happy to help you out. Mr. Horas and Mr. Laurent are there who will near you to help you out. You can visit their offices as well. You can ask them for the physical meetings. We are open for the demos, and looking forward to connecting with you all again. And stay safe, stay happy, and all the best for all your future needs, and looking forward to connecting with you again soon.
So I've just dropped my email address in the chat box. For your future reference, you can just note down the same, and please do feel free to write to me in case of any queries. We'll be happy to assist, and I'll just end the call in the next 2 minutes. If by any chance, if you have still missed out to fill the form or note down my email ID on the screen, because after this call, we all leave, the chat is lost. So I'll keep the Zoom call on for the next 2 to 3 minutes till the time Mr. Horas can give a closing note. And thank you all once again for participating.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sanchit, for your presentation, and also Kaliani, for your presentation also, So in this closing session, I'd like to also to say in bahasa, Jadi Bapak Ibu sekalian, terima kasih atas waktu yang sudah diluangkan dalam waktu yang produktif ini di jam hari dan jam kerja. Kami sangat mengapresiasi atas waktu yang sudah diluangkan. Tentu memang ini adalah merupakan awal dari apa yang kita lakukan. Jadi tahap berikutnya kita akan ini mendapatkan masukan termasuk tadi dari Pak Karim, ada permintaan, ada isu dan juga ada permintaan, jadi kita bisa akomodir. Nah, jadi mungkin presentasi hari ini belum menunjukkan langsung ke aplikasinya secara live Jadi untuk itu memang harus kita lakukan jika memang ada satu kebutuhan di sekolah atau kampus Bapak Ibu sekalian, bahwa kita memang perlu melakukan assessment Jadi kita survei, kita lihat, kita dapatkan kira-kira apa butuhnya sehingga tidak terjadi seperti yang tadi Pak Karim sampaikan, susah untuk ini custom susah ini, karena memang pada saat di awal itu mungkin belum mendapatkan bagaimana sih bisnis proses di sekolah ataupun di kampus. Mungkin masing-masing kampus agak sedikit berbeda satu dengan yang lain. Tapi seperti yang tadi ini saya boleh sedikit share ini aja untuk meng-highlight aja sekilas tadi tentang ini. Inilah yang akademia sudah kelihatan ya.
Ya, sudah Bang.
Oke. Jadi prinsipnya Serasot Akademia ini merupakan ERP tapi spesifik untuk education, untuk pendidikan Jadi kalau untuk perusahaan industri atau manufaktur kan sudah tahun 90-an sih udah mulai Tapi di bidang pendidikan ini secara institusinya, secara ini kan memang relatif masih baru, walaupun memang nggak baru-baru banget Tapi inilah modul-modul mulai dari awal kita lihat di sini, ini ada kurang lebih sekitar 38 kalau nggak salah. Nah, jadi kalau misalnya nanti kita mau lakukan mapping, belum tentu ini semua dipakai, tergantung dari size dari kampusnya, kemudian mana yang jadi prioritas Mungkin tidak semua kampus punya asrama, tidak semua kampus punya antar jemput. Nah, seperti itu tidak perlu Yang biasanya ini harus misalnya admission management untuk penerimaan siswa kemudian juga untuk pengelolaan ini uang kuliah ya, dan juga untuk program dan ini ya mata kuliah, dan beberapa ini aja mungkin butuh tidak lebih dari separuh mungkin dari ini, karena ini sudah namanya ERP itu kan harus dari ujung ke ujung ya. Nah, tapi tidak mesti harus ngambil semuanya. Jadi sesuai kebutuhan. Nah, untuk itulah jadi next step-nya ini kita harus memang kalau ada kebutuhan di kampus Bapak Ibu sekalian, kita nanti harus melakukan mapping ini ya. Setelah itu baru kita nanti lakukan analisis lagi ya, kita pelajari. Nah, baru kita presentasikan atau demokan sesuai dengan kebutuhan di sana. Nah, setelah itu ada feedback di mana barulah kita ini kan engage gitu ya. Kira-kira ini yang kita tawarkan, yang merupakan best solution-nya ya, atau yang bisa fit ke kampus Bapak. Mungkin seperti itu Pak ya. Jadi akhirnya saya mengucapkan terima kasih banyak atas waktu yang sangat berharga sudah diluangkan dalam webinar ini. Semoga kita ke depan ini bisa ada ini lagi ya, kontak, dan kita siap untuk melakukan tahap-tahap berikutnya. Terima kasih semuanya. Selamat sore.
Thank you so much for this. And once again, thank you so much for joining this session, and looking forward to connect with you again. And all the very best to you. Thank you, Horace. Thank you, Sanchit. Thank you, Luran, as well, for making this webinar successful. And I hope you all have shared your details into the form. We will reach out to you again. And thanks once again to all. Thank you so much.
Unmute lah semua.
So thank you very much to all the participants, and thank you, Mr. Horace, Mr. Loran, and my fellow colleagues.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
And
Sachit.
Ms. Lina, along with my entire team here by Academia Silosoft. And it was a great participation, and looking forward for further meetings and discussions ahead. And have a great day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. Thank you all.
So much all, and thank you so much for joining today.
Okay, see you again.
Same here.